Hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Monday Mentoring. We have 3 sessions this week. I'm recording this on Friday because I'm actually leaving town later today, so this is submitted a little bit in advance, but I think we can still go over the basics. We have this week a roundtable. I'll be doing the roundtable at noon Eastern Time. If you have a case to submit for the roundtable, go ahead and send it in. If there are cases posted, we put them when you go to the Monday Mentoring dashboard and you click on the roundtable for this coming Monday, right underneath the RSVP button, we'll put downloads of the cases there if they are submitted in advance. We give priority to people who submit cases in advance, so we'll talk about those first, and then if we have time or if there's no cases submitted, we'll just ask for questions from the group, which could be a case that you've been thinking about, a clinical question, anything like that. We also have practice management with Oren at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't had a chance to meet Oren yet, Oren's great. He is another herbalist. He's in full-time herbal practice, both as a clinician and as a teacher. Oren leads lots of herb walks. He's got a lot of great thoughts and ideas about how to run a practice, how to make a living from this. He's tried a lot of things over the years, so definitely check that out if you're interested in ideas about practice management or if you have questions on that topic. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern for our folks who run an apothecary, Stasha will be facilitating that session. I personally don't maintain an apothecary, so I brought in Stasha because they do. And Stasha's an amazing medicine maker. Really great time to go and ask questions if you have questions about wild harvesting, making different herbal remedies, pricing, bottles, anything related to preparing herbs. Sasha's a great person to ask. So check that out. There's so much goodness in all of these sessions. So all of those things are happening. You might have noticed in the weekly emails, I've been mentioning Journal Club, which is coming up not this Monday, but the following Monday. And the reason that I mention it in advance is because there is a paper that we'll be reading. So I've put the link to the paper in the email this week and last week, and it'll be there next week too, in case you want to have a peek at it in advance. Janelle facilitates journal clubs, and they're really, really great chance to broaden your understanding of clinical research and how to understand and interpret these papers. So even if you're a total beginner, you are welcome in Journal Club. Even if you don't read the paper, you're still welcome in Journal Club. Like I said, that's not this week, but next week. All right. Today is also last call. If you want to join an accountability group, go to the community site and just register your interest there, and we'll be pairing you up into accountability groups sometime over the next week-ish, plus or minus, depending on how things go. All right, that's what's happening in Monday Mentoring this week. Co-working continues apace, so if you want to join us on Wednesdays at 2 Eastern from 2 to 3, we get together and do work. Amy is going to be facilitating co-working for the next 3 weeks because I'm going to be out of town, but it'll happen just like it always does, and most people find they can get a lot done during that time, especially things you've been putting off. All right, now for our behind the scenes. I actually have been reflecting this week on something that didn't happen recently. This was actually 2, maybe 3 years ago. I I thought, oh, my business is growing. I probably should look into SEO, search engine optimization. And somebody who knew, anyway, I was in a group with somebody whose business was doing SEO and seemed like a good fit, and I paid quite a lot of money for this person to do like an SEO audit and analysis with like a plan for my website. And honestly, it was a huge waste of money. I can't remember exactly how much it was. It was either like $1,500 or $2,000, which I really wish I hadn't spent. And part of the reason was because this person could not seem to grasp that I wanted to bring in practitioners and not people who were interested in learning about herbs. Like, could not seem to grasp that. So that was part of the issue, just a listening issue. But also, I realized that I'm not really into SEO. I don't really necessarily want total strangers from the internet to be working with me. I do like it when new people find my work and I get to meet new people. But I'm just not sure that's the best way for me to grow my business. And the reason I'm telling you this is not because I think SEO is a waste of money for you. In fact, it could be a great use of money for you. But the reason I wanted to tell you about this is because at first I was pretty guilt. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I spent that much money on something that I haven't really gotten any benefit out of, and that I could have used that in other places to do other things, lots of places. Um, and I was reflecting on this for a little while, and then I realized I heard another business owner, talking about like making these kinds of mistakes is just part of the cost of doing business. Like we all make kind of not very smart investments. Sometimes like we buy things that we didn't actually need, or we signed up for a program that turned out to be not a good fit and there was no way to get your money back, or one person was talking about having scheduled something wrong, like a flight to a conference wrong, and had to pay a bunch of late change fees and all this stuff. And it was like, oh my gosh, I just messed up. Um, and I was like, oh, that's such a nice way to think about it. Is like there's just a certain amount of things that you're just not going to do right, and they do have a financial cost. Sometimes they have a time cost, sometimes they have emotional cost, whatever it is. But it's just like part of the progress of moving forward. I'm like, okay, now I'm a lot more rigorous about the things that I want to spend time and money on. Now I do a better job since that happened of thinking like, do I really need this? Is this a good fit for me? Does this actually align with what I want to be doing? I got some good lessons. I probably did get $1,500 worth of lessons out of it, frankly. So in some ways, maybe it was a good use of my money. It stings to think back on things like that. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you in case you have ever done something like that where you're like, oh, even if it's like $15 or $75 or something, we all just make these little mistakes. And for me, it's been helpful to revise my thinking about what happened and be like, okay, that was just the cost of learning, the cost of being somebody who doesn't always know what they're doing, and took a chance on something that didn't work out. So anyway, just sharing that thought for you this week in case it's helpful. I will see you perhaps on Monday at noon Eastern time. And if not, I'm around on email. Actually, I'm not around on email this weekend, but I will be around on email Monday and beyond. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. All right, have a great week. Bye.